Okay, we'll already get started. All cell phones, pages, and electronic devices used for communication should be silent for the duration of the meeting. We'll have an invocation by myself and a pledge of allegiance by Councilman Dirk Gidry. Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and guidance as we are gathered here to address matters at hand. We ask that you clearly show us how to conduct our work. Help us to work together and encourage us to challenge each other to reach higher and farther, to be the best that we can be. Keep the good of Terrebonne Parish in mind. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will call the meeting to order Wednesday, May 13th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Can I have a roll call, Mr. Hampton?
Mr. Trosclair,
Here.
Mr. Navy,
Here.
Mr. Harding,
Here.
Mr. Michel,
To Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Mr. Amadei,
Here.
Ms. Domain,
Here.
Mr. Darren Gidry,
Here.
Mr. Badman,
Here.
Mr. Dirk Gidry. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, sir. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the regular council session held April 15th, 2020. Can I entertain a motion to approve them? Motion by Mr. Danny Babin, second Mr. Gerald Michel. All in favor, signify, raise your cards. We got 9 yeas, motion carries. Distribute the minutes of the regular council session held on April 29th, 2020. That's been completed. Accounts payable list, approve the accounts payable list for 5/4/2020 and 5/11/2020. I get a motion in a second. Motion, Mr. Babin, second, Ms. Jessica Doman. All in favor, signify. 8 yeas and 1 abstention, Mr. Darren Gidry. Motion carries. Item 1 on the general business, accept the minutes of the Broadmoor Tree Advisory Committee held on April 28, 2020, and approve the action of the committee. Any discussion? Mr. Michel, you discussing or you moving?
Moving, please.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Gerald Michel. Second, Ms. Jessica Doman. All in favor, signify your vote. Showing 9 yeas, motion carries. Item B is a resolution concurring with the recommendation of the parish administration to award bid 20-5-18 for the purchase of 55 sets of new unused bunker gear to the lowest qualified bidder, North American Fire Equipment Company, NAPCO. Any discussion? Mr. Dirk, you discussing or you moving? Okay. No discussion. Moved by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second Mr. Danny Babin. Signify your vote by raising your card. 9 yeas, motion carries. Item C is a resolution authorizing the execution of change order number 2 for the construction agreement for parish project number 02-ERA-28, Forced Drainage Project 1-1A, statewide flood control, phase 4 pump station project, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. Any discussion? Mr. Hardy, you discussing or you moving? Unmute, please.
Moving.
Okay, we have movement. Carding, second by Mr. Darren Gidry. Excuse me, all in favor, signify your vote. 9 yeas, motion carries. Resolution of providing approval of amendment number 1 to the engineering agreement for parish project number 18 SEW-02 Martin Luther King Sanitary Sewer Assessment Project for an increase of $17,000. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, can I get a motion and a second? Motion, Mr. Amity, second, Mr. Babin. All in favor, signify your vote. Seeing 9 yeas, motion carries.
I'm yay. My Wi-Fi is having issues.
Item E is a resolution authorizing the Department of Utilities to enter into a contract with Soul Construction LLC for the parish project number 19, Elect Gen-42, Hurricane Barry, FEMA HMGP diesel plant roof replacement. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, can I get a motion and a second? Motion, Mr. Babin, second, Mr. Michelle. Signify your vote by reading cards. Mr. Guidry, you want vocal?
Yay.
Okay, seeing 9 yeas, motion carries. Item F, the resolution awarding the quote for the Texas Gulf Road Pump Station bulkhead. Any discussion? You know, no discussion. Moved by Mr. Babin, second Mr. Guidry, Dirk Guidry. All in favor? Signify
Aye.
your vote. Seeing 9 votes, yay, motion carries. Thank you all for giving us my district. Item G is discussion and possible action regarding the removal of rec district number 234 that's been pulled from the agenda. Item H is discussion and or possible act, any discussion on that? Thank you. Item H is discussion and or possible action regarding the appointment of the current TPCG council. Steve Trollstack, Paul Harding, John Navy, Jessica Domingue, Darren Guidry, Dirk Guidry, Daryl Michelle, John Amity, and Daniel Babin to serve as the board of Rec District 23. That also has been pulled. Any discussion? Thank you all. Item I is consider the introduction of an ordinance to authorize the lease of office space located at 8026 Main Street, Suite 404, Houma, Louisiana, to the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to lease office space to the Louisiana Workforce Commission and call a public hearing on Wednesday, May 27th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, moved by Mr. Babin, second Mr. Amity. Signify your vote, please.
Yay.
Seeing 9 yeas, motion carries. Thank you all. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to authorize the parish president to accept and execute on behalf of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government a cooperative endeavor agreement for the installation of gas main facilities and statement of servitude and rights of ways for Cameron Isles Business Park Unit 1 to address other matters relative thereto and calling a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, May 27, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Any discussion? No, seeing no discussion. Can I get a motion second? Motion, Mr. Amity, second, Mr. Danny Babin. All in favor? Signify your vote.
Aye. Yes.
Seeing 9 yeas, motion carries. Item K, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2020 adopted operating budget and 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Item 1, Martin Luther King Sewer Project, $381,297, and calling a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, May 27th at 6:30 p.m. Any discussion? Mr. Michelle, discussing?
Motion.
Okay, moved by Mr. Michelle, second by Mr. Babin. All in favor?
Yay.
Seeing 9 yeas, motion carries. Thank you. Consider the introduction of an order to authorize the lease of usable space located on the 8th floor and certain positions on the rooftop of the building at 8026 Main Street, Houma, Louisiana, to Mute Singular Wireless PCS LLC. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to lease space to New Singular Wireless PCS LLC and call a public hearing on Wednesday, May 27, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Ballin. Ms. Babin? You have to unmute, I can't hear you.
No, I hit the button by mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Navy, you discussing?
Yeah, someone asked a
Okay.
question. Leasing to do what? To place what?
Ms. Dove? Or Mr. Toots? You have to unmute, Mr. Toots, we can't hear you. Get you. There you go.
Okay. This is a renewal of an existing lease for the antennas on top of the building.
Just the antenna, right?
Yeah, well, it's the antennas, and then there's electronic switch gear that's in the what we call the 8th floor or the penthouse, which is in an air-conditioned space for the transmission of data that the antenna receives.
Okay.
This is a 5-year term with 4 5-year renewals, and there's a 6% inflation factor on each term.
I was just trying to make sure nobody trying to put cell towers on top of the government tower.
No, those are the antennas that you see now, Mr. Navy.
Thank you.
Mr. Michelle?
Yeah, and this is only between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government and Singular, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Harding? You have to unmute, Mr. Harding. We can't hear you, Mr. Harding. Mute your computer, unmute your computer. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, you know, man, for the public, that has nothing to do with what's going on around right now with 5G or anything like that. It's an existing contract. We're actually upgrading, so that's no new contract. We're just renewing one, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, entertain a motion and a second. Motion, Mr. Michelle. Second by Mr. Babin. All in favor? Signify your vote. Seeing 9 votes, motion carries. All right, ma'am, the resolution concurring. I'm sorry, I thought somebody was speaking. The resolution concurred in the call of a special election to be held in Recreation District 2-3 of the Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, to authorize a tax renewal election, make an application to the State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Any discussion? Michelle, you discussing?
Yes, I just want to thank the Recreation District 2-3 Board for the great job that they're doing right now, and also for coming together at the last second to get this together, because I know there was some confusion. And I appreciate their patience with this council for putting the other, what appears to be foolishness on the agenda that had no reflection whatsoever in anything that they're doing, except for the concern of getting this on the ballot. And so I just want Rec 2-3 to know how much I appreciate them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Navy.
Yeah, that's a fight for another day. But I guess my question is, it's 10 years, right? I think some proposal was out there about 3 years. We're doing this for 10, am I correct? On the ballot.
That's the understanding with the email I got today was 10 years.
Okay.
Mr. Darren Guidry, you speaking?
Oh, yes, Mr. Navy. And it is a 10-year renewal, which carries over from the tax that it was before, which was 10 years. And this is the last opportunity that we can get on a major election before the tax expires at the end of 2020. So it's good, yes, that the rec district went ahead once they realized that the deadline was so close. They they quickly called a special meeting, and I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
Mr. Michelle?
I'm moving.
Okay, got a motion from Mr. Michelle, second Ms. Jessica Domingue. Signify your vote by raising your card. Seeing 9 yeas, motion carries.
Point of order, I didn't see 9, just for the record. I want to make sure everybody's votes registered the way that they wanted registered.
Yeah, I did. I saw the same thing whenever after I called it. John, you voting on that? I mean, John Navy?
There's abstain, nay, and yay. So I'm voting yay. If I wanted to vote abstain and nay, I would have did it, but I'm voting nay. Thank you.
You voting what?
Yay.
Yay, okay. 9 yeas. Okay, can get a motion to deviate? It's not 6:30 yet for public hearing. A motion, Mr. Babin, and a second by Mr. Amity. Signify your vote by raising your card.
Baby, if you gotta get something, get it.
Okay, seeing 9 yeas, motion carries.
They're going straight lights.
I have a question about item E, Ms. Suzette. Item E. Item E is in full.
Yes, that was before.
Okay, but that's not in public hearings, is it?
Yeah.
It was? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, street lights, light installation, removals, and activations. Any discussion? See no discussion, need a motion and a second? Motion, Mr. Amity, second, Mr. Darren Guidry. Signify your votes, please. 8 yeas, 9 yeas, motion carries. Vacancies to various boards, commissions, and committees. I mean, Recreation District Number 1 Board, 1 expiring term. Rec District 10 Board, 1 expiring term. Rec District Number 11 Board, 2 vacancies due to resignations. Terrebonne Parish, 2 expiring terms. I guess we can go to announcements. Parish President, you have any announcements? Mr. Dove?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
No, I'd just like to thank everyone in the public for working with us, and like everyone else, mask up and keep your distance of 6 feet or more if you can, and the restaurants will be opening to 25% capacity come this Friday, along with all the other stores that's opening up. And we ask the public, we don't want to see our numbers spike, so please mask up, keep your distance, because we can spike up, and it can be trouble. So please be careful out there, and let's open Terrebonne back up. Thank each and every one in the parish for working with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dove. Any councilman? Mr. Navy.
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Harding and Mr. Pondville, and also Mr. Dove for giving us the mask to help out with the distribution in the community. I also want to just make an announcement. Let's, as a community, to continue to also not just social distancing and wearing masks in the public, but also with the senseless violence, not just in our community, but throughout the whole country. We just had a situation out there in Georgia, and I'm just asking for us to continue to work together in a non-violent way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Navy. Mr. Darren Guidry.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. First of all, I want to announce the opening of the roadway at the Bayou Country Sports Park that ties into Valhalla. In case you guys haven't heard, please take a ride and take a look at the new roadway. We now have access by both 311 and Valhalla, so when tournaments do begin at the sports park and those tournaments end, we can split the traffic, and so that way it won't cause a bottleneck on either roadway. So that was a very important roadway. I want to thank Mr. Dove for working to help get that, working with me to help get that done, and for the council for all of your support. I want to thank you for that. Also today was the pre-construction meeting for the family use area at the Bayou Country Sports Park. I went out there together with representatives of District 2-3 and administration, as well as the engineers, and they will begin that project, which will include some splash park elements, as well as walking track, and just basically a family area when we do start tournaments. Those family members that aren't playing in the tournaments can use the family use area. It's also can be used for residents. So I wanted to mention that. Also, I wanted to mention, I got a phone call from a couple of people in the Gibson Bayou Black area concerning people riding dirt bikes on some of the levees back there. But I don't think people realize that some of these levees are people's properties. We just have right of way to have the levee, but they're actually private property. And you know, I don't know, you know, Mr. Toops or Mr. Dove, if we can maybe publicize to people, you know, the fact of, I think they think it's just public property, and it's not. It's, you know, we have servitude to build a levee on some of those properties. Some of it's public property, but not all of it. And so there's some confusion. So please, you know, before you decide to ride four-wheelers or dirt bikes, please keep in mind that the levees, just because there's a levee there doesn't mean that it is public property. It may just be public servitude. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry and Mr. Danny Babin.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate administration for the job that they've done during this pandemic so far. I think y'all have done a great job. I think it's been of everyone, including those of us on the council, but you're doing a great job. Also, the Houma Navigation Canal Bridge is set to be redone 2 or 3 times, but the latest is that it will be closed from May 18th, which is next Monday, through July 27th. That's 70 days. So we're going to have some traffic problems that we're going to need to address in those 70 days. It'll be more traffic going through the tunnel and across the twin bridges. So I know HPD has done a good job with that in the past, and I'm sure they'll do a good job with it under these circumstances. But that will be a 70-day closure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. John Davis.
Yes, I left out a comment too. I want to thank Mr. Dove personally. I think this past weekend or this past week, he gave out about 60 care packages to a lot of local churches and church organizations. So that was, I mean, I got a lot of calls on that. That was great. That was wonderful. People appreciate it, especially after the governor made his announcement about that 25% go back into the church for congregation purposes. But thanks a lot. And the minister's comment, wanted to tell you thank you also, Mr. Dove. I don't know if you're on the phone or not, but I appreciate you all doing that for that faith-based organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davey. And I want to also just go my normal routine and remind everyone to keep all our veterans and active military, our first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, and I also want to add all our medical and medical teams that are working diligently through these trying times in the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. You know, it's been a trying time for the whole world, you know, and these guys are really going the extra mile and putting themselves in the face of harm to protect all of us. So once again, keep those guys in your thoughts and prayers. And I see Mr. Harding. Unmute Mr. Harding.
Yes, I would like to piggyback on to show my appreciation not only to President Dove and the rest of the members of the council in the distribution to the faith-based organizations. I have a number of them in my district. I would also like to thank Angela at the warehouse, the home fire department for doing the high rise. It's a difficult task, but then they were so much appreciative in the high rise of those care packages that were given out there. So, you know, man, kudos to Angela and the home fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Seeing no further lights, we're gonna move on to item C. We want to acknowledging the month of May as National Nurses Month and the year 2020 as the year of the nurses. Does anyone like to speak on that? Okay, see no, well, I guess I'm calling light, but maybe no hands. We're gonna move on to monthly engineer report. We're gonna entertain a motion to accept and a second. Motion by Mr. Allen and second by Mr. Darren Gidry. All in favor, signify your vote. The 9 yeas, motion carried. We entertain a motion to recess for 4 minutes until 6:30 public hearings. Motion, Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Amity. We'll recess for 4 minutes for reconvene at 6:30. Thank you. Call the meeting to order. This time I'll entertain a motion to go back to regular order. In a second, we have a motion, Mr. Babin, and a second by Ms. Jessica Domey. Signify your vote. Gerald, you voted? I didn't see you. Okay, 9 yeas, thank you. Okay, 6:30, public hearing. I read an ordinance to dedicate and accept the maintenance, operation of streets, drainage servitude, utilities, gas, sewer, rights of ways for Acadian Point subdivision, Phase B, into the enhanced 911 emergency response system for the purpose of providing a better means of locating addresses. Public once. Public twice. Public 3 times. Seeing no discussion, motion to close. Mr. Dirk Gidry, second Mr. Jeremy Michelle. Signify your votes, please. Your 9 yeas, motion carried. Mr. Navy, you voting? Okay, thank you. Now we got 9 yeas. Motion to adopt. Mr. Dirk Gidry, second Mr. Danny Babin. Signify your votes, please. See 9 yeas, motion carried. Item B is an order to authorize the parish president to accept and execute on the behalf of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government as grantee a servitude and right-of-way agreement to provide for electric utility services to Acadian Point subdivision Phase B for Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, and to address other matters relative thereto. Public once. Public twice. Public 3 times. Being no discussion of public, motion closed. Mr. Michelle, second Mr. Dirk Gidry. Signify your votes, please. Being 9 yeas, motion carries. Motion to adopt Mr. Hamady, second Mr. Dirk Gidry. Signify your votes, please. Being 9 yeas, motion carries. I received an ordinance to amend the 2020 adopted operating budget and 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and provide for related matters. Home of downtown development, $109,824. Home of downtown marina, $4,325. Public once. Public twice. Public 3 times. Being no discussion, Mr. Michelle, moves to close. Ms. Doman, second. Signify your vote. Being 9 yeas, motion carries. And motion to adopt Mr. Hamady.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay. Mr. Michelle.
On Roman number 1, home and downtown development, is that a dash or a negative sign?
It should be a dash. Is that Candace?
It's a dash.
It's a
It's not a
dash.
negative.
Normally it's in parentheses.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, motion, Ms. Hamady, adopt. Second, Mr. Babin. Signify your votes, please. Being 9 yeas, motion carries. Item D is an ordinance to authorize parish president to accept and execute on behalf of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government as grantee a right of use agreement to secure parking adjacent to the East Park Fire Station for voters of those polling precincts during the elections. Public once. Public twice. Public 3 times. See no discussion from the public. Ms. Doman moves to close. Mr. Darren Gidry, second. Signify your vote, please. Being 9 yeas, motion carries. Motion adopted by Ms. Jessica Doman, second Mr. Danny Babin. Signify your vote, please. Motion carries, being 9 yeas. Item E has been pulled, but it's 3, consider the adoption of an emergency order to suspend the voter qualification and residency requirements for members of the Terrebonne Parish Recreation District T3 Board for a period of time not to exceed 60 days from the effective date of this ordinance has been pulled. Moving on. Entertain a motion to adjourn, Mr. Amity. Second, Mr. Darren Gidry. Motion carries. Oh, signify your votes, please. Sorry. John, you voting? Maybe? Okay, thank you. Okay, all in, motion carries 9. We adjourn. Thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all patience for my blunders up here. Thanks.
Good night. You did it good, Steve.
Good night.